If you haven't used the insert screenshot or screen clipping option, let's try that a few times. If you just open any Microsoft Word file, and you might want to have a few other documents open as well on your desktop. I have an Excel spreadsheet open. I think I maybe have one of my web pages open. So let's see what happens. I've copied a few definitions from our terminology list because that's where I've used the screen clipping option. So I'm going to look at this definition of fill that you've already seen, the paint bucket icon, and right between these commas I had a picture of that paint bucket icon. Well, let's see how I could do that. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and under the Insert tab, I don't want a picture of an entire window. I just want to clip a small section of a window. So I'm going to choose Screen Clipping, and then I'm going to go to any of the documents where I see that paint can option. And you might have trouble in the video seeing this, but right here it is in my Excel spreadsheet. So you'll see it as I click and drag. It's just like cropping. A screen clipping, I'm just going to crop out a section that I wanted, and look at what it did. It put that into my document where my cursor was, and then I can just drag it where I wanted. It is just like any other graphic option or object. I can make it larger or smaller. So if I wanted that to be more visible, maybe I would have thought ahead to have a different color other than yellow selected. But there's an example of inserting a screen clipping. I did the same thing for the section on the formula bar in Excel. So I showed a picture of that formula bar here. So again, I only want to insert a clipping, not an entire screenshot, but a screen clipping. And it looks a little confusing because it's offering me to go to another window. So here I have Brian's gradebook project out, so I'm just going to click and drag to get a picture of the formula bar. And when I release, there's the object, and it put it right where the cursor was. And you can do the same thing you would do with other objects. You could move it around, you could wrap text, you could say that you want to position it in line with the text. If I make it smaller, then I could fit it up on the previous line. If I want to, instead of having it be in line with text, I could wrap it with the text, or I could put it in front or in through the text. So we can, if it's in front of the text, we can move it around and put it on top of the text. So a screen clipping becomes just an object like any other picture or illustration. You can do with it then whatever you wish. What's the difference with the screen clipping? Let me put this back up here. One thing I might do is simply just hit a return to make some space for that formula bar there. All right, what's the difference? Look at where my cursor is right now. What if instead of choosing Insert Screen Clipping, which was down here, instead of choosing Screen Clipping, what if I chose the entire screenshot? Then it's going to get the entire window. So let's click here on this portion of the website that I had open, and it inserted it. And again, if I want to be able to move it around, I can put it in front of text or behind text. I can wrap text around it if I want to make it smaller, like any object. So if you want to move it freely, then move it in front of the text or behind the text. But it gave me that entire window. Now, what if I changed my mind and I didn't want that entire window? Well, like any of your photos, you can go now to your picture tools and choose the crop icon. So, for example, once I do a screenshot, then I might say, well, I really only wanted, for some reason I can't explain, I really only wanted this section of the website. And then remember that under your picture tools, you also have the option then to compress and delete the section that you cropped away so that you save space later. And again, you can wrap your text, or you can put this behind text. Remember what behind text does. So it's a little harder to move around, but your text will be on top of it, or you can move it wherever you want. So screenshot is the entire window. Screen clipping, click and drag to get just a portion of a window.